InShalla and Ashe. Thanks for waiting for me, tuning in. I had to wait for my YouTube to actually go online. It seems to always be a situation. But with all of that, InShalla, Ashe, welcome to today. I am Tonya D, and welcome to my daily snippet. It's Sunday, August 1st, and thank the goddess or at least I made it through July. It was truly bumpy and a lot of jumpy with some hiccups and whatnot for me, and that is actually definitely the truth. Today's energy is one that is acting on our love in our personal love story. So now, just real quick, I recently was emailed, if you've subscribed, you get messages from me, but it's amazing how our mind truly works. And I'm talking about loving ourselves, and this person was about how our love story would be together. And again, we all have different perspectives on love, an action about love, passion about love, the foundation, on and on and on and on. But we are just bringing in the love of ourself, our inner daily love, self-love. But let's talk about the element of the day first. I'm going to kind of muse a little bit longer on this one, I think. But it's a Yin Metal snake day in the day branch. So what does that really mean? Well, Yin Metal as a person, or Jin, that X-I-N, is somebody who is refined and graceful, meticulous, possibly soft-spoken. This person has actually resources and support coming from the month and the year. The ancestors or the parents probably would go to college, has few friends or maybe a few siblings. The ones that they have are actually real or true friends. So, usually a small village when it comes to true friends is more authentic. And the snake actually on the branch would tell me that their partner is a snake. No, I'm kidding. But the yang fire to the yin metal, that really assists in the refinement of the metal energy. So this partner is probably charismatic. The fire has those snake eyes, the ones like in the Jungle Book when the snake mesmerizes Mowgli. That kind of a person of power. So fire to a metal day master is actually power. Which honestly, when I think of power really is kind of a strange word. When we watch people who are supposedly in power, it's like, I don't have that kind of power, the misuse of power, or, that's kind of what I would call it, or the abuse of power. So today is a day that we should actually ground or bring into what kind of element do you think, or what calls to you? If the horse was on the hour, we would actually have a south directional frame. So that fire energy would be actually pure in its essence in a way, which would kind of be curious. So honestly, I'm going to stick with water again. Fast moving, exciting kind of water, a heavy downpour of rain. Water is also communication. It's our bladder and our kidney pathways. It's also fear and gentleness. But a metal day master is more focused, intuitive, confident. They're great really at any profession out there. I see this as bringing the person to balance. So I would actually look at the missing element to bring in that balance. Water is actually communication. So a career where they communicate, a pool that they can swim in, that kind of stuff. The cosmic energy of the day as we continue with our personal love story. It's what actions do you take for loving yourself? So today is really a day to put our actions, our characters, and even our ego, the aspect of what our ego is, the athletic part of us out front. So I'm not really athletic, but I definitely need to get into my exercise routine. I probably should meditate more myself. I really am not doing that enough lately, but possibly I'm doing it in my dream state while I'm driving. So just kind of being naturally aware of, loss and progress, motion or things in motion and change. So this aspect compares you to other people or things. So if you find yourself comparing yourself to others, You kind of want to avoid any of those temptations that you might have today to really judge yourself. Stick with only those constructive thoughts, not the deconstructive ones. Those are actually forces that we can use. I talk about them in Change Your Stars, I believe. I talk about them in there. That's kind of where I think so. We really, truly want to kickstart our heart, a little Motley Crue. I love Nikki Sixx, or actually I should say the energy of him. But really, to really kickstart our heart in our personal love story. So what does that even mean? We are putting it into motion. We're going to take action. So today's a day where we want to truly end behaviors with our inner self, our inner love story, and we really want to begin new ones. So what does that look like? So to give you an idea, I have my morning coffee, my Luna cups. Isn't that fun? Yay. But say I added sugar to it or some kind of dairy product or something. Well, today would be the day where I would want to go black, get rid of the dairy, get rid of the sugar, keep it organic, stop the sauce, or maybe you want to upgrade your nutrition quotient and stop all of the processed stuff that's literally out there, which honestly is a task. But it's really about those baby steps. So stop the cereal, the ones with all the sugar, stop the bread, pretty much all the processed stuff, and just kind of make it a day by day or a week by week to kind of cut out all the bad juju. And we all know, or at least our body actually knows, it will literally, your body will act up if you are feeding, or if what you're feeding it has zero value, no nutrition quotient. Or at least mine does. I know, within 15 minutes, it's like no tequila for me for various reasons. I just know myself, right? But as we feel into the energy of today, it's really time to take that action, whatever that is for us, we're all individual, and start this new love story inside of us and just make that a habit. And, start new patterns, a different response, or, have you ever had this amazing intention and then all of a sudden the ball drops when that unexpected thing happens and the rug gets pulled out from underneath you? This literally has happened to me more times than I can tell you. Just last month, like yesterday, July 31st, July 1st to the 31st was total rug pulling out for me. But kind of not really, but it kind of was. And when that happens, this unexpected, practice a ritual of seriously loving yourself in the response, in the action, coming to your own rescue. Give yourself a Band-Aid. Just shift your attitude or your thoughts. I like to just keep in the optimistic venue and see like the best out of any situation with anyone. It's like it really is seeing things through the perspective of a benevolent being, the eyes of God. Even with all the shift and the crud going on in the world, I really am hanging on to the starry night. And I don't participate in the news story. It's like the Dread Pirate kind of stuff. So with that, today is a day where, it's a great day to begin something new that's actually going to improve the quality, your inner quality of your love story. So you really want to pamper yourself with a product, something that you buy for yourself, treat yourself, sign up for a class that you really want to be a part of. I have some pretty awesome, amazing stuff in my Musing Club. Honestly, if you haven't checked that out, or a treatment like a pedicure, something that makes you feel good. Anything really that will make you feel loved and pampered by yourself. It's like you're doing it for yourself instead of for others, and it's perfectly fine. So I would say this is something that you have to actually take the initiative and really do it for yourself. Usually it's the thought that counts, but actually it's the act of doing and following through of whatever that looks like. Loving yourself in all ways, in all days, in all hours. It's truly those unconditional practices of self-love and nurturing your inner garden. Even if you believed you failed or made a mistake, God knows I felt that way before. So it's this conscious, say that 5 times, consciousness, this conscious stream of love on the inside of us that actually brings out the best. So loving yourself with 0 conditions on what that love looks like, or be actively loving yourself today and all days forward, and attracting self-love and maintaining it, encouraging more loving thoughts, those actions. You know, you could wear a pink stone, rose quartz. That's kind of one I'm always kind of drawn to. And a lot of times I infuse it for healing for clients, friends, or guests. That's a lot of times what I do with any of my crystals, really. You want to create a space to be in joy of life and actual living. So activating our heart center really calms us down if our life is stressed. Just meditate and bring that in there. Actually benefits our nervous system when we do that. B12, I use vitamin B12 liquid. I use Vivo Life. That actually calms my nervous system down. Our root center is actually activated today. So wearing red, red empowers us. We usually don't need that much red. I have this crazy ginger hair, so I don't really wear red much, but I'm just having fun with it today. And you can also, you don't actually have to wear red, but if you can have it in your peripheral, your side stories, that even will do. You can also bring in red foods, tomatoes, cherries, watermelon, red on the inside, right? The ArchAngels of today, Raziel, which, Raziel's kind of been beefing it up for me, the secrets of God, It reminds me of the Akashic Records or the Book of Life and the library there. So Raziel has these inner divine secrets. And I don't actually know if I shared this before, but knowing all of the secrets of the universe, he appears kind of like Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings, this heroic wizard with wings of an angel overseeing those mysteries, and really helps us to understand it all. And I really like the wizard idea because it makes me sense what's called or known as the Merlin effect, which I love the Merlin effect. And we also have Ariel, the Lioness of God. This one is like the Aaron Brockovich of the angels, the angel of the earth and the water, just committed to our environment, magical. It's a teacher of manifestation with developing those skills. When this angel comes in, you kind of feel the glee or the delight, and it comes in through our heart. Also works with Raziel, the healing and the health of our pets and animals and beings, right? Even a plant has an energy. Metatron is also online today, and I'm always kind of resonating with Metatron, to be honest. Labels, the labels that we have, there's so many labels, really. Mental health labels is kind of what I'm going with here, but mental illness, ADD, ADHD, OCD, all the narratives. Basically, it's people who have high levels of spiritual awareness. That's really what that is. They're more attuned to the realm of the spirit world. So they're kind of like our human bullshit detectors. So what that looks like. If you're an indigo, or maybe you have indigo beings in your life, I think indigos could be plants, animals as well, not just human beings, on all honesty. So, what you want to do is bring in this angelic being to assist with all of those, and you can utilize Metatron to hone your gifts and navigate this mental health. So that's kind of feel into that. It's like this angelic being of higher awareness to assist. You can bring in the cube. I use the Merkaba. The moon is actually in Taurus. It's in the waning phase because we're moving into the new moon, and I'm pretty excited about this. If you haven't subscribed to my Musing Moon meditation, please do. I'm going to actually be recording that meditation today. So with the moon in Taurus and the season of Leo for today, and I think it shifts into Gemini tomorrow, but let's see. I'm musing that our earthly emotional manifestations are both innovative and have this essence of love with the moon there. So feel into those manifestations, those emotional threads, and what that actually feels like. Now, the card for today, I kind of mused about what I kind of wanted to use with that. But it's called the Leer of the Shadows, if you can see that. The thread weaver was kind of a bit hard to see, so I went back to my fairy oracles, kind of what happened. But who doesn't like fairies? Let's be real. So it's Lys, Lys of the Shadows. So she's this patron fairy of social workers, therapists, healers, anybody who's trying to assist people through alcoholism or drug addictions, and even other souls that really get caught in the darkness of their own inner shadows. She reminds me of a fairy that would help us through the dark night of the soul, which is never a fun time, let's be real. Or anybody who's been abused by somebody who should have protected them in the first place. She doesn't sit in an office. She's actually out there in the dark and the dangerous streets, and she's literally lending a hand, soothing and, being there for people and whispering comfort and encouragement, hearing those voices of encouragement and, really bringing a touch of assistance or help with rainbow light into those shadows. And I always like to say, even in the darkest shadow, there's always a speck of light. There always is. And it includes, those dark and human heart as well. So what this fairy does is she inspires souls to connect with one another in more of a healing way, that you're not alone. So her specialty is really to help the hopeless, the ones that most everyone else, including themselves possibly, have really given up on, people who live on the street, children that are lost, the lost children really of our society. That kind of reminds me of the Lost Boys in a way, or anybody who's kind of fallen through the cracks, these social safety nets that aren't very netting. But ultimately, she's trying to assist people to really develop their authentic respect, self-esteem, self-confidence. She knows that it starts further down the scale of whatever the idealism is in our world. So she tries to inspire through practical assistance for those that are actually in need of it the most. So she's an inspiration for the first kind of wobbly steps that we take. Truly, if our soul's been damaged, or, to take our soul towards healing, those aspects of whatever that looks like. Because I think healing has a broad word too, just like power. So if you call upon her for assistance and helping another, she's always going to give it. She's going to be the fairy that encourages the person to actually be receptive and also others to be helpful. So she always has time to support those who have time for others as well. So, we all need support. Someone who's ready to begin with getting help, right? And climb out of that inner bog. So there's really hope here, and there's also the need for this loving kindness tempered by practicality, being practical. Some affirmations to say, my favorite would be that I am loving to myself in all of my actions and my behaviors. Like you're always acting on self-love to self, or I'm acting on my inner love story. And another one is being a resource of inner love to myself. So climb into those today, kind of resonate and see which one feels the best and the better for you. And make it an action of loving yourself today. Like, I'm probably going to go get a pedicure. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm feeling. So as always, thank you for joining me, and InShalla, Ashe.